Hello everyone, back again with another video. Been doing a lot of threads lately, a couple of contest entries. So here we go again, another contest entry, this time for Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for contest. What's this one all about? Well, we'll see ya on the flip side. Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy, and I am here to do another contest entry. This one is for Steve. At A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for contest, as I mentioned in this video. And the contest is, does jazz music suck? Well, I'm kind of a fence sitter on this one. I've watched a few videos, and most people are either they love jazz or they despise jazz. I'm kind of in the middle, a fence sitter kind of guy, and I'll explain that as I go through my records. But I'm coming in just under the gun here. Hopefully I made the contest entry deadline. I believe that Steve's going to be doing this one tomorrow, so basically at the time of this recording, probably 24 hours from now. So I hope that I've made the list of people to enter the contest. So I'm not a jazz connoisseur, so to speak. I don't have a lot of jazz in my collection, but the ones that I do have, I can appreciate. And I do think that a lot of bands and musicians, especially drummers, I was a drummer myself, although casually, but I did play, in a local cover band and that kind of thing. I think that a lot of drummers and different musicians were influenced by some of the jazz musicians. I'm not going to go out and buy all the Blue Notes copies and all those expensive copies. However, I do appreciate them, and those that listen to jazz music and like it, you do you, and I will do me. And so let's get started here. I've got 5 or 6 that I'm going to show that I do have, and we'll go back, early times here, a little bit of Count Basie, and this one is Basie Land. If I'm feeling like I want to be in a bit of a jazz mood, or I want something mellow to listen to, I will go with some Count Basie. He is not, super crazy with his jazz stuff. It's pretty palatable, I think, or at least I find it is. So I respect him. This one here is on the Verve label, and actually this particular copy is a Canadian pressing. I bought it at a thrift store somewhere in southern Ontario here in Canada, and I think it was like a Mennonite thrift store, and they had this one behind the display. When I brought it home to input it into Discogs, there are Count Basie, Basie Land albums, but this particular press was not in Discogs, and I did input it myself. So Count Basie, and that is Basie Land. All right, now when I think true jazz, I've always thought of jazz bands and football, orchestra bands and that kind of thing, I guess you would say. And in Ontario, this is a kind of a unique press that I have. I mean, there's copies out there that you can buy and stuff like that, but the Fig Leaf Rising Jazz Band, Fig Leaf Jazz Band, I believe they're out of Ontario. And as you can see, I mean, this is what you would typically expect from a jazz band, I think. A lot of instrumentals and things like that. And funny enough, it's on Leaf Records. I don't know if this is their own press. I don't know if this was their own pressing of records or whatever, or if it's an actual company that they didn't start, and it just happens to be ironically the Fig Leaf Jazz Band label. But there you go, Fig Leaf Rising by the Fig Leaf Jazz Band. interesting group. I featured them on on an obscure bands of Canada video I did a little while back. So if you want to check that out, definitely do. Unique stuff there. So I'm not going to be listening to that all the time. Something that I do find unique about some of the jazz artists are these cool covers that they seem to do. So this one here is Joe Farrell's Outback, and it features Chick Corea and Buster Williams. Once again, I'm not going to be listening to this all the time, but I do respect it. Of course, on the inside, you got your members of the band, the saxophone, the drums, the recording, and of course the track list and all that kind of thing. But the artwork is quite nice on this, I think. So yeah, Joe Farrell's Outback, and back in the day it says that the cover photograph was available as a large 11 by 14 inch custom color print for $19.50. I'm sure that you cannot buy that anymore, but there's the fine print down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. So that is one of those unique ones, and I do have another one that you could have purchased the artwork for, and that is Stanley Turrentine, and that is Cherry with Milt Jackson, featuring some songs. Speedball, I Remember You, The Revs, Sister Sanctified, Cherry. And so once again, you have, pictures of the musicians right on the inside, but then on the bottom, it's got that disclaimer. You can buy the artwork for this album. So that one there, a little bit different, I guess. Somebody with their hands on the back of somebody else. So I just think it's kind of unique. Not something I'm going to be listening to all the time, but definitely jazz at its finest and palatable. But where I do come in and listen to jazz, and I'm not saying that this is full-on jazz, but one of my favorite Canadian musicians was definitely influenced by jazz, and there's some jazz within his music. There's no doubt about it. Though he is more soft pop, or he does have some electronic and keyboards, even orchestral on one of his albums. And that is out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Gino Vanelli. This one here is The Gist of the Gemini. He is one of the few artists that I have in my collection that I am a completionist of. I do have all of his released on vinyl music. And this one is on A&M Records. So once again, you can kind of tell he's definitely into the orchestral, looking very nice and classy. It's got the keyboard there. But one album that I find has a little bit more of a jazz spin to it, and it's my favorite Gino Vanelli album, and that is Storm at Sunup. Now, neither one of these albums really had too many hits, and I mean, Gino Vanelli didn't have too many hits outside of Canada. He's known for his Brothers to Brother album, and some of the ones from the 1980s, Hurts to Be in Love, Black Cars, Just a Motion Away. Those tracks. He also, released a few others in the 70s. Power People was a big album. So there we go. Like I said, not a huge jazz guy, but I respect it and understand that other bands and musicians are definitely influenced by it. And if you're into jazz and that's what you like, then definitely give jazz a go. I respect that. And yeah, there you go, Steve. I know that you're a definite hater of it. Should I win this competition, this contest internationally, I'll be looking for the money, and I'll probably buy myself a not jazz album with it if I win. So until next time, have a good one, everyone. Let me know what you think. Do you know these jazz artists? And until next time, we'll see you then.